and welcome to Whole Women's Week. Today is a tea break talk, and I'm Becky from Whole Libraries. I'm with Carrie. So without further ado, hi Carrie.
Hi Becky.
So I just wanted to ask you if you could tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm a singer-songwriter guitarist. I took a long break to have my children, good 20-year gap. So I've come back as a mature musician, which isn't easy. But I've been back to it now about 8 and 9 years and progressing quite nicely. Of course, it's always a lot more difficult when you're an adult sort of, rather than a teen or somebody in their 20s, so it's been a challenge, but I'm enjoying it very much.
Good. Um, so what challenges do you think you faced? Because you said you had a bit of a break. I mean, have there been challenges for you as a woman, or has it been age related, or have you had anything that's sort of been a bit of a struggle?
Oh yeah, I think definitely the age thing, which is massive in music. Music is more about over the last few years been more about image. For me, it was like a chance to get back to my music after being somebody's mum. The biggest challenge I faced was becoming myself again. After looking after my twins, I think you lose your identity a little bit when you've had children. You forget who you are, who you were, and it takes a little bit of a time to sort of get back into having that confidence thing. You've got the confidence to look after your children, but all of a sudden you've not got that confidence to be who you were before. So getting up on a stage after all those years, the playing wasn't the difficult thing. It was more the confidence of standing up in front of people after such a long length of time.
So, thinking of those challenges, and actually I can see some positives that if you take some of those challenges and flip them on their head, there must have been positives from them, like going up on stage after all that time and sort of re-immersing yourself in something that you are so passionate about. So do you have a proudest moment?
Oh yeah. I am very lucky to be sponsored by Vintage Guitars, and there's guitar shows that go on all over the UK, right the way throughout the year. Obviously not at the minute with the COVID, but they are due to restart, and they go on all over the world as well. And one of the largest music conventions ever, the NAMM music convention, which is in Anaheim in LA. I got invited by Vintage to go and play at that, and I was demoing for them last January. And also, I mean, it's just wonderful to be a woman in a guitaring environment rather than I guess musical environment. The guitaring part of it, it takes a lot of sort of like effort to get respect, I think, from the guys when you're a guitarist. The singing's not a problem, but so to be asked to demo at big shows in front of like a lot of male guitarists was a big thing for me. I felt like finally I was getting taken seriously as a musician.
Oh, that's wonderful. I have to ask, just as an aside, because I know lots of guitarists, how many guitars do you have?
That's the best thing, isn't it? Let me think. At the last count, I had about 14.
Wow. You obviously have a favorite. I used to go into my local guitar shop and goggle at a beautiful blue guitar. I don't know if the sound was any good, but it was a lovely navy blue. Do you have a favorite that you like to play with?
Well, mainly I play vintage because they sponsor me, and I do have 3 or 4 of the same guitar because I tend to play in a lot of different tunings, a bit like Joni Mitchell did. So it saves the breaking of the strings. So I do particularly like that model, the deluxe model. I also really like a little travel guitar called a Vintage Viator. And Vintage recently made me a pale coloured one with dragonflies bent into it, which is very pretty.
Wow. Gosh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
So do you write as well? Because some people who write use different, like they might use a 4-string for example. Do you write with a six string when you're sort of composing?
Yeah. I've tried playing 12 strings before, and I'm not a 12-string player, but I do get different inspirations from different guitars. So the little travel guitar, obviously, it's pitched quite high because of the short scale of the neck, so you can make it sound quite mandolin-y, and that's been an inspiration for 4 of my tracks. I think each different guitar works in different tunings. Each guitar, I always find I would reach for my filed guitar, which is like a handmade guitar. If I was going to work in an open C, I always pick that guitar up because that guitar sounds lovely in that tuning. But on a whole, it's mainly whether I'm strumming, whether I'm picking, to which guitar I pick up. But they all have different inspirations, definitely.
Different voices for all
Yeah,
14 of them.
absolutely.
Yes. People whenever you've got a passion, I think you become attached to certain parts of that passion, and it just the
Yeah.
collection gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Well, I've got all the guitars in a room that I keep my guitars in. It's called the Docks and Guitar Room because I collect Doc Martens as well.
Oh,
I know
I
that's
do that. No, I'm a Doc Martin collector. It drives
brilliant.
my husband. Yeah, it
Oh
drives my
my
husband a
god,
bit.
I've got to
Yes.
stop now though because I've got 58 pair and it's really not.
Oh,
I'm running out of space, so I'm gonna have to sell some because there's a few pair that I've seen that I like, so I'm gonna have to let some go to allow more in.
yes, yeah. I mean, I don't have that kind of collection. I would like that kind of collection.
Well, if you're
I
a
tend to
size
be
5,
drawn to
you may
the
be able to pop
sparkly
round.
ones.
If you're a size 5, Becky, you might have to pop round and have a look.
I'm a size 4, so I
Oh,
actually fit some of their children's
you're
sizes.
lucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're lucky.
So I get the sparkly models. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
sparkles.
princess boots.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I love DMs.
I do.
Anyway, anyway, whole Women's Week. Whole Women's Week and DMs. That's what we should
Yeah,
be going for.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll be wearing my purple ones, Becky.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well,
Yeah,
that'll fit right in,
it
won't it?
will.
Going
Well,
purple. Fantastic. So, thinking of the industry that you're in,
mm.
and as you said, that coming to it later in life after a break, what changes do you think you would like to see?
I think music should be about talent. I know many years ago this was brought up by Sinead O'Connor when she first hit the scene. She was seen with a shaved head, and the reason she did that is because they wanted her to wear her hair in a certain way. And I think she shaved her hair off, basically saying, my talent is raw and beautiful. It doesn't depend on what my hairstyle is doing. And I think this was like a turning point in music. I think we've gone back to being ridiculously silly in music, where we've got scantily clad girls all over the screen, girl groups, which is obviously going to sell records. But I think it needs to go back to talent, and it's interestingly enough, there's a thing out at the minute called Talent is Timeless, and it's been run by Saskia Griffith Moore. She's won many awards on BBC Radio 2 folk singing, and she's brought this competition together for over 50s. Now my major point was, do I enter this and do I admit I'm over 50? that was my biggest worry. But actually, the amount of talent on that group page, you had to enter a song and the winner gets to record at Abbey Road. But what was apparent to me was the huge amount of talent coming off that page from people that were over 50. And so I think a lot of the time you think, gosh, when it comes to like record deals and record labels, they're going to look at you and think your shelf life isn't very long. So whereas I just feel music should be timeless. I think that the sort of like title for that group and for the competition, Talent is Timeless, is a massive thing. And because I don't think it matters how old you are, what you look like. I mean, we only have to look at Susan Boyle when she went in for that competition. What a voice she
Mhm.
had, and she was an older lady. And image isn't everything. And I just feel like the music industry's gone off on a tangent where I guess it's sexiness that is taking the rule, and I think that's wrong. Do you know? I think we need to reevaluate. You look at some of the stars of the past, Joni Mitchell, Janissie, and people like that. Their talent was huge, and they were nice looking girls, but the forefront of everything was their raw talent, and that's what I like about those particular artists.
Yeah, but yeah, very, very poignant way to think about it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, absolutely.
So, where if I wanted to listen to some of your music, Carrie, where would I find it?
Right, I've got a website, www.carriemartin.co.uk. And on there are YouTube clips, there are links to my Facebook page. You can actually find my 2 albums on there. I've got some lovely guests on my latest album. Rick Wakeman, son Oliver, the guitarist from Bad Company, my mentor Gordon Giltrap. So I've got some really lovely musicians starring alongside me on that. I'm quite proud of it. So I'm live streaming every Saturday night from my Facebook page, and that you can connect to my Facebook page through my website. So there's still lots going on regardless of the live gig situation, Becky.
That's wonderful. Carrie Martin, thank you so much for taking some of your time today and spending it with us at Hull Women's Week. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Becky, for the invite.